I didn't go to school for art, so I have this inferiority complex for when I meet people who went to art school. I feel like, oh my gosh, they must know so much more than I do, just on the basis of having gone to art school. And that's not always true, but I feel that. And a lot of even being able to paint anything at all or make anything creative is me having to kind of shut up that voice and be like, just do it. It doesn't matter if it's going to be great or perfect or important, you just have to keep going with it, and eventually after making a lot of crap you might make something good, but don't worry about that now. In general, our society is not really comfortable with the idea of stepping back and letting things kind of compost for a while. Like there's this focus on, not just a focus on product as opposed to process, but there isn't a lot of understanding of how the process works, because a lot of not just creative, like not even overt creative work, but my dad's a mechanical engineer, and there is a lot of creativity there, even though it doesn't look like an art job or something. But I found out pretty recently that he needs to kind of sit on something for a few days before he can like invent this machine that he's inventing. And I thought, well, nobody told me this growing up. I didn't realize that when my dad kind of slouches around the house incapable of doing anything for 3 days, it's not because he's being, a man who can't do things. It's because he's thinking and like processing. Like you watch a movie about creativity and then there's always this montage where everything comes together, like the person is sitting there being angsty for a long time and then they like have this breakthrough, and then all of a sudden there's the like productivity montage, where the person like runs around town or like spends a lot of late nights tinkering with the thing that they tinker with. And so like we watch all of this and we think, oh, that's what it looks like to make something, to be productive there needs to be action and something coming together. But we don't really think about the steps before that, where you just sit around for a long time, doing what looks like nothing, where you like read books and go out with friends, like cook food, clean your house, just let everything sink in. I had this moment where I might have been reading a cancer memoir or something, and I thought, what if I died really soon and I had just been on this path the whole time, and I felt terrible. Like I thought about spending the rest of my life doing what I was being trained to do, and it didn't sound like fun. So I thought, well, what would I rather be doing? And I realized that I would feel terrible if I had died without giving my creative work a shot. I didn't really know how to get off that path, because so much of my life up to that point had just been leading me there, and I didn't feel like there was a lot of room to do something else, and I didn't know what I would do. So there was a lot of angst, there was a lot of stress shopping, a lot of stress eating, and just feeling like an imposter in grad school, and like I would be an imposter everywhere else. And it just felt like, I think I've, pages and pages in my journal of like, what will the parents think? What will people think? And then once I had done that and it was fine, like it's gotten progressively easier to go against expectations, or just actually not even pay attention to expectations. A really great piece of advice I got from one of my writing mentors, Evelina Galang, was that when you write for yourself, it doesn't matter what happens with your writing. Like if all the critics pan it, you get attacked personally or attacked for your work, whatever. If you wrote it for yourself, out of something that you truly believe, then no one can take that away from you. You can't look at other people as, the voice of authority. Like, it's about taking what works for you and not getting too bogged down in what you're supposed to do or supposed to be. And I feel really strongly about that, because I think we're always getting so many messages from the outside. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not, but you really have to trust yourself on that. And you only learn to trust yourself by trusting yourself and seeing how that goes.